I would like to welcome you to Joyful Gathering Spiritual Center. My name is Reverend Margaret Palagye. I'm the founding minister, and I am so very happy that you have joined us this evening and on Sunday morning. We're located in Westmont, New Jersey for when we go in person outside. More to come on that, so stay tuned. But what I would like you to know is, besides Facebook Live, we do have videos, many hundreds of videos, up on YouTube. So check us out, Rev Margaret Palagye. Also, our Zoom Wednesday night healing, we have a beautiful 15-minute meditation and then a group prayer, all minister practitioner led. On this Monday, we begin with Dr. Mariam Saluki. She has a fantastic new discussion group for Joyful Gathering called Project Change. So this is all about the current events with the protesters and with ourselves, with the human race. And this is free. It's on Zoom on Monday night, 7 p.m. All this information and more is on joyfulgathering.org. You can also make a donation on joyfulgathering.org. There's a PayPal button. We're also on Venmo, and you can mail us a check at the address on the front page. We greatly appreciate those who have so generously donated to us. So right now, let's begin our service, our talk, our inspirational talk, and afterwards, affirmative prayer or spiritual mind treatment. We always begin by taking a really deep breath. Let's breathe in the infinite potential. Breathe that in, expansiveness. Exhale that expansiveness. Yes, feeling your field filled with that expansion. Tonight, we're going to speak about present moment awareness, really living in the now. We talk about it a lot, can't say it enough. We have to remind each other. So I'd like to begin this evening with these beautiful words by the Sufi poet Hafiz. I wished I could show you, when you are lonely or in darkness, the astonishing light of your own being. Isn't that gorgeous? Each and every one of us, an astonishing light. That's what we truly are. The powerful, inspiring words. So right now, we're going to build upon that by realizing that to fully shine our astonishing lights and to fully experience the manifestation of our highest visions and our deepest dreams, we must live in the only place that we can, right here, right now, in the present moment. There is no place else that we can live. So this evening we are talking about where you've been, where you are, and where you are going. And I said that we're going to really focus on the present moment, but how can we do all three, right? That doesn't sound correct. Which one is it? And I have to say, it's all of it. But how can it be, you might ask? And I would say to you, I'm glad you asked. When we look at where we've been and acknowledge it, accept it, and shine the astonishing light of our own being on those places that seemed maybe dark, through forgiveness, always forgiveness, acceptance and release, and sometimes even honor it. That's the past. And when we set our sights, our intentions, our vibration, our energy on our expansion and expanded experiences in the future, When we do those two things, and then when we come into the present moment awareness and choose to live full out, right here and right now, just live full out, we amp up. We amp up our ability to have our dreams, hopes, and desires for our lives brought into fulfillment, into manifestation. We magnify our power when we really take all that has happened and bring it into this moment, because we've forgiven anything that's dark or didn't serve us, and we've learned our lessons, and we are powerful, magnificent beings of creation. That's what we are. And then when we go into the future, where do we do that? We don't sit here and think in the worry and the fear of the future. We plan. We plan the future from this now moment. It's the only place we have to create. So be happy now in this present moment. As you make plans, set intentions for your future. Are you feeling the excitement, the high vibration of what it is you want to manifest? Because what it is you want to manifest has a vibration to it. And when we feel that, with the thought and the feeling, the manifestations become so much bigger and better than we could ever imagine. And I realize that sometimes we feel heavy and sad. We just can't reach for that happy self right in that moment. And that's okay, because this week I was feeling that way. I was feeling that heaviness. And the only way I could snap myself out of it was to make myself do the things that I needed to get done, to force myself to do them. And part of what I did was I wrote the newsletter. So, because I knew that had to get out. But I'm writing the opening and the newsletter, and I'm moving and I'm doing what I have to do despite not feeling that happy self whatsoever. And I managed to get myself out of that, a depression, even if you want to call it that. A depression, a deep state, by writing. And this is what I wrote for my opening, just so you can hear what you can do. You can do this. You can sit down and write. This is what came out. Now I realize, nope, where am I? Here it is. I know I speak about the now moment a lot, because I do, but it is vitally important that we practice being in it. It might be that your now moment is filled with heaviness, and that's okay to acknowledge. This is the time to breathe into that feeling, that deep breath, and know that only God's light is the truth. It's the only constant. Since every moment is now in our awareness, and that is, we allow ourselves to know that we are divine beings and we are fully supported and loved in all times. And this is tremendously important, I wrote, to remember. We are going through so many emotions at this time. I believe it is all about metamorphosis. Change is occurring, and we shall transform into our butterfly selves. Breathe into the light and declare, the divine light is moving through me in this very moment, and I know that my very highest and best good is occurring right here, right now. The affirmation. And you know, I did that a few times and lifted the spirit, lifted the heaviness, which is only temporary anyway. Now, since ancient times, spiritual masters of all traditions have pointed to the now as the key to fulfillment and happiness. It hasn't changed one iota. It never changes. The truth is truth. It is changeless. This I absolutely know. In the Christian Gospels, it says things such as, nobody who puts his hands to the plow and looks back is fit for the kingdom of God. Pretty explicitly telling us not to live in the past. Or the passage in Matthew, chapter 6, verse 25, where Jesus says, therefore I tell you not to worry about tomorrow. Not to worry about tomorrow could only imply live in the present moment. Before coming before Christianity, the whole essence of the Zen Buddhism consists in walking deeply in the now, to be so completely present that no problem, no suffering, nothing that is not who we are in our essence, nothing can live. Now is also central in the Sufi tradition. Their teachings, Rumi, who was a Sufi, wrote, past and future veil God from our sight. Burn up both of them with fire. The past and the future is not where God is. The divine resides right here in this now moment. It's the only place the I am can reside. Meister Eckhart, the 13th century spiritual teacher, summed it up when he said this: time is what keeps the light from reaching us. There is no greater obstacle to God than time. When we're in the past, we're not connected or in alignment. When we're in the future worrying, we're not aligned, we're not connected. And I love these words from Dr. Ernest Holmes' Science of Mind. He writes this: we should erase thoughts of yesterday that would rob us of today's happiness. There is nothing arising out of the past that can disturb me. I lose all things that in the past have caused me anxiety. The spirit knows no past and is not affected by the belief in any way. The past is swallowed up in the victory of a perfect present, which is filled with love and protection. So this is that last line. The past is swallowed up in the victory of a perfect present moment, which is filled with love and protection. Then he goes on to write this: equally, these words are so important. I really just hope that you are really taking these on a deep level, because this is the way we have a choice to live our life. We could stay in the fear, or we could choose some kind of spiritual teaching. This is what I teach: New Thought, religious science. That's where my heart is. He writes this: equally, we must not have fear in the future. I see that the future is bright with promise. It beckons me forward into a more complete realization of my own worth and rightful place in the universe. I look to the future with great and pleasurable anticipation, knowing it expands my opportunity for my radiant self-expression. We have a New Thought paradox that can sometimes hang people up, and I alluded to it before. It is the concept of creating a life of our dreams while living happily in the moment. We're creating for the future, but we're living in the moment. I love the concept of having, that this has been around for a long time, high involvement, low attachment. I'm sure we've seen that graph that a lot of workshop teachers have shown us. That is the most effective way to live our lives. High involvement and low attachment. low attachment. So it means that we're excited and passionate about our growth, our expansion, our dreams. And we do what we are guided to do. We take that action in the mental and physical world. That's high involvement. And then we release the future entirely and live our lives full out. And that's low attachment. This brings the greatest fulfillment into our lives. It truly does. And when we can let go of attachment to how we think things are supposed to be, because, and especially right now, it's in our face, they're not going to be the way we expect them to be. Everything is changing. Metamorphosis, remember that. Holmes had one more statement that is important for us. He wrote this: I love my past and my future and understand that they are but continuations of the one unbroken chain of life. There is no future to be afraid of and no past to bring discord into the present. That's so great. That is so great if we could remember. So if we release the grip of the past and the fear or anticipation of the future, what are we free to do in the moment then? Because all that energy, all of our energy is being sucked out of us when we keep dragging the past with us or projecting into the future with worry and fear. That's energy. When we release it, if we release all of that, and I'm going to change that question for a moment. If you release the grip of the past, whether that be 10 minutes, 10 years, 20 years, or 30 years ago, and release the fear over tomorrow and what it will bring, what kind of power do you think you have to create in the now moment? Free of all of that. You have incredible, tremendous power. All the power there is, because God is in the present moment. And we all have the opportunity to, in essence, embrace our life today in one moment after another. Stay in the moment. Stay in the moment. There is nothing else but this moment. Anyways, the eternal now. So experience it to the fullest and live your life well. No matter what you keep hearing on the news, please turn off your TVs, turn off your radios if you haven't already, and bring your focus into the creative moment right now and find something that you can be grateful for, because we know that that frequency, that vibration of gratitude, what a great place to create from. Then project in a good way our dreams. Project what we want to feel and to see. That's where we create, and we don't need all of that garbage that feeds our fear. We don't need that. We spoke of that last week. Fear or faith. We don't need that fear. We want to create out of that gratitude. Eric Butterworth once said, the only demonstration there is, ever was, or ever will be, is in and of divine law. And the only time it knows is now. It's the love and law of God. It doesn't know yesterday. It doesn't know the future. The law that responds to our thought and feeling only knows the now. So do not pray to heal tomorrow. Don't do that. Pray for wholeness today. Pray for the consciousness of wholeness. And then live to the best of your ability from a place of wholeness. Do not pray that tomorrow or the next day you'll find a job. Affirm that you are in your right place, right here and right now, and then act as if you are. Do not pray to become what you want to be. Know that you are it, a perfect expression of the divine. Now behave like one. Behave like you want to manifest. Do not pray for greater abundance. Feel yourself outrageously blessed and abundant right now and be grateful for it. The power of the present moment awareness is experiencing that presence of the divine. It is in this present moment that the great I am lives and moves and has its being. I want to leave you with a short poem. The author is anonymous, and it's called I Am. Take a breath with me. I was regretting the past, fearing the future. Then suddenly, my Lord was speaking. My name is I Am. God paused. I waited. God continued. When you live in the past with its mistakes and regrets, it's hard. I am not there. My name is not I was. When you live in the future with its problems and fears, it is hard. I am not there. My name is not I will be. But when you live in this moment, it's not hard. I am here. Always the divine is here in this moment. Let us keep in our hearts peace and harmony and infinite potential. Let us keep this in our minds, our hearts, our very beings, and let's live as best we can, full out. Let's all remind each other to do that. Thank you. Now stay tuned.